Okay, welcome everyone. This is Monday, August the 24th, 2020. Prior to the start of our regular meeting, we have two public hearings. The first, a public hearing on ordinance number 1541, an ordinance to amend the budget ordinance of 1521 for fiscal year 2020. Anyone in the audience wish to address the board on that item? All right, seeing none, we'll close this portion of the public hearing and go into the second public hearing, a public hearing on ordinance number 1543, an ordinance to amend the zoning map of the city of Tullahoma, Tennessee, as set forth in municipal code, which is ordinance number 1392, to rezone an approximately 28.4 acre parcel at 1800 East Lincoln Street from R2 medium density residential district to R3 high density residential district. Anyone in the audience wish to address the board on this item? All right, seeing none, we'll close the public hearing and go into the regular meeting of the Board of Mayor and Aldermen. First is the roll call. Ms. Golden.
Mayor Curley.
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Banks.
Here.
Alderperson Berry.
Here.
Blackwell. Here. Dunn. Here. Noes.
Here.
Mathis.
Here.
7.
It takes a quorum, so we'll proceed. We're very pleased that Reverend Marty Nutter is with us this evening. Ask that Reverend Nutter step to the podium and offer invocation. Ask everyone to please stand and remain standing while he leads us in the pledge.
Mayor, may I speak before I pray and lead us in the pledge?
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
You're recognized.
It's been an honor and privilege to serve under you and with you. Tonight, as I came up the steps, I counted them as you have. There's 9, and then there's 9 more, 18, and you've served as our mayor 18 years, so I didn't know if maybe the Public Works could add more steps. But it's been a real privilege, and Lord's richest blessings to you for really over 3 decades of public service. And as the gavel is passed tonight to Mayor-elect Ray Noes, we pledge you, Mayor, and all the aldermen our support. We pray. Oh, Lord God, as we gather tonight, we do give thanks to you for Lane Curley, for his family, for his service to you and to our community as our mayor. And now this evening, as the gavel is passed from Mayor Curley to Mayor-elect Ray Noes, we pray your blessings upon the Curley family. We also pray, Lord, your blessings upon the Noes family, that you would give your guidance and direction to Mayor Ray and to all the aldermen, those that have newly been elected and those that continue to serve. And also for all those that were elected in the various positions on the Board of Education and other areas, that we might serve you and serve this great community. We ask that you hear our prayers in Jesus' name. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Pastor Nutter. Kind words. Appreciate you. Okay. Pleased to recognize Ms. Jennifer Moody at the podium for 2 recognitions, please.
Thank you. Each month I have the opportunity to recognize some of our employees of the month. And this month, I'm really excited to recognize 2 of our employees that maybe are the least visible to the public, but certainly very, very important and valued members of our team. We couldn't do it without them. Tonight we have Margie Hankins and Stacy Scott with us. If you want to join me. These 2 are responsible for our building maintenance and especially have been recognized by their colleagues for their extraordinary actions in this new normal that we're all living in. They've had to build several creative solutions for us so that we can continue to keep operations open to the public. And we just want to recognize them for the tireless work that they do to keep our buildings clean and good repair, but then especially for these extra efforts to keep us safe during this pandemic, and it hasn't gone unnoticed. We're so thankful for you. Thank you so much. Yes, yes. And let me give you an opportunity to speak if you would like. Yeah, I know both of you pretty well, so I'm not surprised by that reaction. Do you have any family members here with you tonight? Okay, well, I know they're very proud of you like I am. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ms. Moody. So, next on the agenda, before we recognize Mr. Mathis, just a couple of point of personal privilege, if you don't mind, Mr. Vice Mayor. 2 weeks ago, I was presented a gavel by, I'm not sure who yet, but it was very, very nice, very much appreciated. I immediately took it home. And I'm afraid it doesn't work. And it might, in fact, be broken.
You haven't been able to get a second?
Because, thank you. You can draw a picture? Well, I was sitting in my lazy boy. I was sitting in my lazy boy, and I hit the gavel a couple of times, and I needed a little help. You know, just fetching some coffee or tying my shoes. And nobody ran to help. I tried it again, and it still hasn't worked. So apparently, I don't know what to do. I'm thinking maybe a cowbell. What do y'all think? You think that might work? No. I don't think so. No. So the second thing I'd like to say is, you know what, and if there's any young people in the audience, young people watching, young people reading about this, you know, what we're getting ready to see, we're getting ready to experience a peaceful transition from one administration to another. And that's one of the things that makes America so great. Of course, it's not nearly as dramatic as a presidential or gubernatorial, and I understand that. But still, in every community across the country, this takes place. And it's just one of the things that makes Tullahoma and America so special, is that transition that's getting ready to take place peacefully from one administration to another. The third is you've had a chance to meet our granddaughter, Meredith. Can you say hi?
Nope.
So I'm very pleased that a lot of my immediate family is here tonight. My younger brother, Kevin, and his wife, Mitzi, are here. Our son, Rob, and his wife, Katie. Katie describes herself as our favorite granddaughter, and that would be true. Our daughter Rosalind is here. Her husband Rusty I don't see here. Of course, Rusty is our favorite son-in-law as well. And Rosalind and Rusty have 2 children, Meredith, who you saw earlier, and Julie, that Rosalind is holding. And then, of course, Evelyn. I described Evelyn at our last meeting as my wife, love, and inspiration. And although I'm sure I don't demonstrate it enough to her, and she would probably agree, those 3 things are true. So, I'm now pleased to, normally I'm the one that presents the proclamations, but I don't have anything from Mr. Mathis. Do you? Okay, yeah. Dr. Blanks, recognize you at the podium.
Thank you. Coach Mathis, can you step up here, please, sir? Most of the time I wear it, but if you want to understand me, I want you to listen. I've known this man for a long time. It's my honor and pleasure to present this service award to my colleague in arms, Jerry Mathis. He began his term as an alderman in 2008. I also was running in that election, if you remember. You got second place by like 105 votes. But I came on the next year and got on the board. It has been an honor and pleasure for me to serve with him 11 years. We have seen a lot go on in those years. Before and during his aldermanic service, he has served as a coach, teacher, administrator, and a member of the TSSAA Board of Control. He's had a tremendous impact on the lives of numerous people throughout his many and varied careers. I will always remember your side glances at me during contentious and/or humorous events while we sat 2 seats apart right up here. I personally thank you for serving with integrity and honor for the last 12 years, and thank you again for your willingness to serve. Thank you, sir. Let me tell you what got all this started. And he remembers this, I'm sure. He's standing right behind me. I mean directly behind me right now. I'm sitting in my office and this young man comes walking in and he says, Coach Mathis, we would like for you to run for alderman. And I said, you are crazy. You have got to be kidding. I don't have any idea what's going on. Well, you can learn. Then I come to find out tonight that he said, well, we appreciate you doing what you did. We appreciate your service, but it really tries on you, doesn't it? So he forgot to tell me all that. Another thing, Lane, whether or not you recognizing the president and everything, all of this is just as important as that. So, you know, the president or whatever. While I've been here, I've had a lot of dealings with a lot of people. The board, unbelievable board. These people that run and that young lady right there, and the people who run the central office, they're outstanding, and you got to have that in order to run a good business, and that's what, you know, they have up here. Lane, you have done an outstanding job. I had you as a baseball manager many years ago. I always put you up in the very top of the crow's nest because I wasn't about to go up there. And so I wanted you up there, and so I wouldn't have to. But you did a good job. I hope you do well. I think you will. You, young lady, you've come a long way. And Mr. Worsham, I've had a lot of dealings with you, not only here, but off the line, and it's always been good. It's been a good time. It's time to go. It's time for me to exit and let someone else, like Miss Allmarker back here, let her have it for a while and let her see what it's all about. But I appreciate it very much. Thank you.
Let me get your picture of Dr. Bunch, please. Stand right here. Oh, come on, it's fine. Go stand on the stage.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you. So before I step down, I do want to, I mentioned about the peaceful transition. A lot of times governors and presidents are asked to pardon people in their last days in office. And actually, I've been asked on 3 different occasions if I'm able to pardon people as well. I'm afraid they all had ulterior motives when I was asked, but I do not. However, I do consider it a treat that we were, thanks to this board, able to name 4 rooms, 3 in this building and 1 in another building. Mr. Worsham now has his own conference room downstairs. Judge Connolly has the boardroom and the courtroom. Patricia Williams, a longtime finance director, has a financial suite downstairs, and Jody Baltz, former city administrator, has his own, what's formerly known as the Red Cross building. So I was very, very pleased and able to do that. One other person I'd like to recognize, Jim Woodard, has been a longtime friend for many, many, many years. And, you know, I think everyone, every child, every adult deserves a champion in their life. And Jim Woodard has always been the champion for me. He's been a mentor to me. He's been a friend to me in times tough and good. So, Jim, thank you. Dr. Blanks.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. If you'll join me up here, I have a word for you. So I'm going to do a little bit of talking. I get that from my mom. Which that's, I always tell my patients, sometimes you get genetics, some you're proud of and some you just have to put up with. It is now time for us to bid farewell to our mayor from this stage. He's been a public servant representing the city as alderman, first as alderman in 1982 at the age of 27, serving a 2-year term. He wasn't done there yet. In 1984, he was elected to the Tennessee House District 47, which covered Coffee County and some of Grundy County, or was it all of Grundy County?
Southern.
Okay, and served there 8 years. He decided to come home. In 1993, he was elected as mayor and served 9 years. Not having had enough of city political life, he ran in 2004 for alderman and served 3 years there. Not done yet. This is where our paths crossed as a public servant. In 2011, he decided to run for mayor, was elected, and has served in that position until today. For those of you keeping count, that's 31 years of public service. I can't think of anyone in recent times that have served this city or county or state, that is, more than Lane. He has presided over probably more than 400 mayor and alderman meetings. And, you know, that's a lot of time away from your family. And thank you, Evelyn, for letting us have him to serve this city. And Rosalind and Rob, you too. I had a child when I was on the board, as I was on the board growing up, so sometimes it can be hard on them, but I know you supported your dad. I think we can thank Lane for many improvements to our community. Under his watch, we have seen the Greenway expand, Splash Island built, the indoor pool updated to competition ability, establishing a Go Green community, expanding our retail footprint. These are just a few examples of his initiatives or areas of interest. He has definitely been the CEO of Tullahoma, its chief encouragement officer. He has read to every elementary class every year in this city that I know of. There's not too many mayors that probably can mark that off their list. And these kids remember that. They know the tall, red-headed guy is the mayor of Tullahoma. From this list of accomplishments I have mentioned, you can tell that is either an alderman, state representative, and/or mayor, you have served our community with distinction. As a public servant, I think we can all learn from your example. In this respect, when I grow up, I want to be like Lane Curley. Usually when we run for public office, you hear, I want to give back to this community. I had that same mantra. I grew up here. Tullahoma did a great job of raising me, and I think Lane had that same feeling. But Lane put the money where his mouth was. He did give back to the community that gave so much to him. Lane, you will be missed, but I don't think you will fade away like an old soldier, as MacArthur said. I know you have advertising business, real estate interest, grandchildren, children, and Evelyn, who may or may not want you to run for office again. They do have cast iron skillets for sale somewhere in town, I'm sure. Lane, I, along with the city of Tullahoma, thank you for your service. Appreciate it. You want to say anything else?
Yeah, let's get a picture. Can't get away that easy. Anybody else want to get
Try to look pretty.
Thank you, Dr. Blanks. That was very nice.
You're welcome.
Okay, I want to recognize Mayor-elect Ray Noes for an announcement, please.
Yes, I have a very brief announcement, Mayor. I am resigning my position as alderman based on the results of the previous election.
Very good. So let the record reflect that we did accept the resignation, and in about 5 minutes, you'll be sworn in as, or something like that, in just a few minutes, as mayor. Not sure how long Judge Connolly's going to take here. He's normally pretty quick. Okay, so we're now ready to introduce Judge Connolly, and we'd ask, I believe I saw Sid Hill here. I'm sorry, Mr. Worsham, that's right. I wanted to call Mr. Worsham to read the results of the certified election, please, sir. Mr. Worsham.
This is the certification of the election results of the City of Tullahoma election held August the 6th, 2020. I'll read it. It may be boring, but it's official. We, the undersigned members of the Coffee County Election Commission, do hereby certify that we held a municipal election for the City of Tullahoma on Thursday, August 6, 2020, in the voting precincts in this city according to law, and for the purpose of electing the offices of mayor, 2 alderman seats, 3 school board seats, and 1 school board seat unexpired term. And that we have canvassed the returns of said election as required by law, and we do hereby certify that the following tabulations are true, correct, and complete. according to the results by precinct of said election as established by the canvassing of the returns this 20th day of August 2020. Signed by Sandra Sosley, Chairman, and 3 of the members of the Coffee County Election Commission. I'm not going to read all the canvassing results, but the final tallies. For the office of Mayor, Ray Noes elected 1,727 votes. For the offices of Alderman, Jenna Amacher, 2,188 votes elected. Robin Dunn, 2,786 votes elected. For school board, Amy Rogers Dodson, 2,425 votes elected. Kim Hustleton, 2,780 votes elected. J. Patrick Welch, 2,294 votes elected. For the school board unexpired term, Mr. Sid Hill, 3,086 votes. Thank you.
Okay, Judge Connolly, the floor is yours. Let me ask Sid Hill, if you would, step to the podium.
Mayor Curley, may I have a moment to address this board? I will overrule you if you deny it. With that said,
This is your room.
With
so
that
what can I
said,
say?
that gentleman and I have walked in this courtroom hundreds of occasions. And after 50 or so, I've noticed this panel over here and noted that the person that served in the capacity of mayor second most was a guy named Lane Curley. And a guy that served the number 1 was Lane Curley. But more importantly than the terms and the time you have served, it's how effective you've been as a mayor. You are a consensus builder. Your guiding hand and sometimes your prompting hand has put forth many programs that have benefited this community. It's not only what you've done on this bench, but it's also the seeds that you've sown for satellite organizations that have been, are, and continuing to benefit this town. You are the gold standard for how the affairs and the governance of the office in which you were entrusted is to be managed. I thank you and commend you for your guidance and your leadership. The city has been blessed by you. Thank you, Mayor.
You, but I'm-
It was too late, too late.
Are you ready? Mr. Sid Hill is here.
Congratulations, Mr. Sid Hill. If you would repeat after me. I, Sid Hill, school board member for the city of Tullahoma, do affirm that I will faithfully, truly, and impartially perform the duties of said office during my tenure without fear, favor, or partiality, to the best of my skill and ability, so help me God. Congratulations. Just take that. Well, no, I'll give it to you later. Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Hill. Any comments that you'd like to make? Let me recognize you at the podium if you'd like.
I will be very brief because I have one of those things referred to as a wife. And she has some plans for me, but I am first thankful to my God, to my family, to the teachers, to the parents and the students respectfully. I cannot thank you enough. This has been a wonderful opportunity. I have had the opportunity to work with many of you, and more importantly, many of you. And it has been an honor and to the other school board members. And I look forward to continually to work with you and helping our children to become the best. Not just tell them the best. I don't want them to be the best. All right, thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Hill. Okay, Mr. Connolly, now we're ready for Amy Rogers Dotson, please. Well,
Raise your right hand, repeat after me. I, Amy Rogers.
I, Amy Rogers
School,
Johnson.
I read.
My
That's all
dad
I
still
do.
calls me
I
Amy
read.
Rogers too, it's okay.
The school board member
As a school board member
for the city of Tullahoma
for the city of Tullahoma,
do affirm
do affirm
that I will faithfully,
that I will faithfully,
truly,
truly,
and impartially
and impartially
perform the duties
perform the duties
of said office
of said office
during my tenure
during my tenure
without fear,
without fear,
favor,
favor,
or partiality,
partiality,
to the best of my skill
to the best of my skill
and ability.
and ability.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
Ms. Dodson, let me recognize you at the podium for any comments you'd like to make.
I just want to thank my family and my friends who have supported me through thick and thin. And I can promise you that no matter what I'm going to do on this board, my first priority will always be my former coworkers, the students, and the parents. As I am also a teacher, I also have students in this school system, and I've worked for this wonderful school system. So I look forward to working with you all, and I'm excited about this next chapter in my educational career. Thank you.
Thank you. Judge Connolly, I'll ask Ms. Kim Usselton to step to the podium, please.
She's fortunate she doesn't have Copeland on this, otherwise I'd recognize her as a Copeland. Repeat after me and raise your right hand. I, Kim Usselton,
I, Kim Usselton,
school board member
school board member
for the city of Tullahoma,
for the city of Tullahoma,
do affirm
do affirm
that I will faithfully,
that I will faithfully,
truly, and impartially
and impartially
perform the duties
perform the duties
of said office
of said office
during my tenure
during my tenure
without fear,
without fear,
favor,
favor,
or partiality,
or partiality,
to the best of my skill
to the best of my skill
and ability.
and ability.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations, Kim.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. I'll get this stuff to you later.
Ms. Usselton?
Oh,
Let me rec-
I have to, but since you've asked me to, nobody likes a microphone like me. I want to say thank you to my brother Tom and my sister Claudia and my son Sam for being here today, and just how much I appreciate the support of everyone. I love serving. Public education is my passion, and Tullahoma City Schools is one of my loves. And I look forward to continued service, and I really would appreciate your support, your continued support. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you, Ms. Usselton. Judge Connolly, I'm going to ask Pat Welch to step to the podium now, please.
Pat, what is it? Back up 6 feet. All right. I'll do more. I'll do more because it's you. If you would, raise your right hand and repeat after me. I, Pat Welch.
I, Pat Welch,
School board member
school board member
for the city of Tullahoma.
for the city of Tullahoma,
Do affirm
do affirm
that I will faithfully,
that I will faithfully,
truly,
truly,
and impartially
and impartially
perform the duties
perform the duties
of said office
of office
during my tenure
during my tenure
without fear,
without fear,
favor,
favor,
or partiality,
partiality,
to the best of my skill
to the best of my skill
and ability.
and ability.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations. You folks know that Pat and I have worked together for hours and hours. It's the first time you didn't make a mistake. And I congratulate you.
Well practiced.
You're very kind, Mr. Welch, not to call attention to Judge Connolly's mistakes.
Thank you. Though they're very few.
I'll get this to you afterwards, okay? All right. We're gonna call it.
Mr.
Mayor,
Welch.
I just briefly, quickly say that I would like to emphasize Mr. Hill's comments. We will strive every day to be the very best. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, Judge Connolly, I'm going to ask Ms. Jenna Almacher, Alderman-elect for the city of Tullahoma, to step to the podium, please, with you.
Gina, young lady, if you'd raise your right hand and repeat after me. I, Gina Almacher,
I, Jenna Allmacher,
Alderman for the City of Tullahoma,
Alderman for the City of Tullahoma,
do affirm
do affirm
that I will faithfully,
that I will faithfully,
truly,
truly,
and impartially
and impartially
perform the duties
perform the duties
of said office
of said office
during my tenure
during my tenure
without fear,
without fear,
favor,
favor,
or partiality,
or partiality,
to the best of my skill
to the best of my skill
and ability.
and ability.
So help you God.
So help me God.
Okay, if you would. Ms. Almacher, recognize you at the podium.
I would just like to thank everybody that came tonight and all the voters, all the supporters. I certainly hope to be a servant leader for the best interest of Tullahoma and all of its citizens. I'm by far a constitutionalist, and with that, I want you to know that I represent every one of you, whether you voted for me or didn't vote for me. And if there's anything I can do for you or any concerns you have, I hope that you will reach out to me.
Ms. Almacher, thank you, and ask you to step to your seat.
Except I should be in that seat. I was just wondering if I could have Mr. Mathis's seat, if he
Sure.
would be so kind to let me have his seat.
You may have it.
I signed up for the window seat, y'all.
Now, that's what you call straightforward.
Well, I've been accused of worse.
I got it. Congratulations.
I'd like to get a picture of you and Mr. Mathis, if you don't mind.
Oh, go ahead.
Y'all, these are big shoes I have to fill, and I don't take it lightly. I don't. Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Okay, finally, I'd ask Ms. Robin Dillon to step to join you at the podium, please.
Ms. Robin Dunn, if you'd raise your right hand and repeat after me. I, Robin Dunn, Alderman for the City of Tullahoma, do affirm that I will faithfully, truly, and impartially perform the duties of said office during my tenure without fear, favor, or partiality, to the best of my skill and ability. So help me God. Congratulations.
Ms. Dunn?
I just think there are so many ways to love one another, and this is just such a blessing to be able to love the city in this way. So I appreciate everybody's support, so thank you.
That was very, very nice, Ms. Dunn. I've never heard it expressed that way. That was very, very nice. Okay, Judge Connolly, please step to the podium and ask Mayor-elect Ray Norris to join you at the podium.
Mayor-elect, will you raise your right hand and repeat after me? I, Ray Norris,
I, Ray Norris,
Mayor for the City of Tullahoma,
Mayor for the City of Tullahoma,
do affirm
do affirm
that I will faithfully,
that I will faithfully,
truly, and impartially
truly, and impartially
perform the duties
perform the duties
of said office
of said office
during my tenure
during my tenure
without fear,
without fear,
favor,
favor,
or
or
partiality,
partiality,
to the best of my skill
to the best of my skills
and ability.
and ability.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
Mr. Ellis.
Well, let me say to this group how truly honored that I am to be representing our community as your mayor, and how humbled I am. I want to thank every single person that supported me during my campaign and expressed confidence in me. But I want to especially thank my wife, Ann, who worked so hard to realize this moment for us. Thank you, dear. Really appreciate it. For those who did not support me, I hope to gain your confidence. I hope that we can work together for all the citizens of Tullahoma to make our community the very best that it can possibly be. I believe that we can do this. So I thank you for this opportunity to have served as your alderman for the last 5 years and pledge to work as hard as your mayor. Thank you.
Mr. Noah, you're welcome to sit here. I've got one last thing. Curly out. Jay's done, thank you.
Oh, he's walking off. He's walking off again.
As I'm like, use my other hand.
Yeah, I think so. I've got some notes in there, so I'll keep it for you.
It's getting lonely over here, Jeff. That's what we tried to do.
Try to like shake your hand and realize it. Winston, thank you.
You just would not be so hard to work with.
Pretty good, right?
Yeah.
Just found everybody away.
I guess so.
Did you hurt yourself?
They're going to take a quick photo of the newly installed board.
Become the plant. Yeah, it's what? I almost did. I did actually. You were supposed to drink your coffee and talk about this.
Yeah. Now go with 2 here, 2 here. Alderman, you still come down here.
We had a talk.
You stand there, and let Jenna, if you stand kind of behind them, drink like this. Jenna, you're good. Something or somebody behind my
Sit on the 6.
Yeah, no, we got this is the new, and so I'm trying to get you guys.
You might have to take another picture once we get another one.
Appreciate everything you've been doing.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, I need one
I feel like.
I'll be around.
Yeah. Yes. What's that called? What's that called? What's that called? What's it called? Mush
All right.
Oh, wait.
Oh, your mask on. And put on your pocket.
I did have pockets actually.
I'll do whatever you guys do. What are we doing with hands? Whatever Jimmy does.
There you are, okay.
I gotta do a selfie now, all right?
All right, okay.
Okay, do a selfie sign.
Okay, here we go.
We're going to get around.
How are you?
The other way.
Good to see
We still have a meeting. I'll just sit in a lonely corner.
Get the comments from the citizens and the other reports. May have to call this meeting to order again.
I need some more water. I am sweaty. Like I used to. Oh, yes. How did that feel?
It's the sound of power.
There we go.
Okay. So that's what the goes.
Unlike the broken one.
Okay. Now we've got work to do. First off, are there any comments from the citizens who are remaining, who have not spoken earlier? Hearing none, we'll go with our reports from the Board of Mayor and Aldermen, starting with Ms. Amacher. You're recognized.
Well, I do have a report, actually. So if the citizens are watching, something that I've been privy to the past couple of weeks is the 2020 census here locally. And I do want to encourage everybody that if you have not done so already, to fill out your census. And to know that if you have not filled that out, to expect somebody to come knock on your door. But to be, aware that there are scammers in other districts. So a couple of things that people need to be aware of is that those census knockers, they should have a badge. They should be carrying a satchel. They should have a phone that on the back says 2020 census, and it's an iPhone, and they will be putting everything that you tell them in their phone. If they ask for any other information other than name, date of birth, whether you rent or own, and race, then they're probably not a census worker.
Thank you. Alderman Barry.
Mr. Mayor, that actually explains a lot, because I got a call today about some strange person knocking on doors in Macon Manor.
It was probably me.
Okay. I don't have much to report. We did a downtown cleanup this weekend. Had a nice group down there. We covered from the Grundy side down to over past Lewis and Orr and back around, and that was fun. I think the coolest part is I saw some new faces, and there were a bunch of kids. And so that was exciting to have out there. We kept them away from the roads. So that was fun. And that's the only report I have.
Thank you for doing that. Alderman Blackwell.
Yeah, so I missed last week's Planning Commission meeting and Board of Education meeting, but other than that, I did have a office hours type thing a couple weeks back, not last Thursday, but the Thursday before that. Talked to a lot of citizens that came by. They had some good questions about planning, honestly. What it looks like, how things get zoned, how zoning works, etc. Other than that, we have the Domestic Violence Task Force meeting on Thursday that I don't like saying looking forward to, but it's a good meeting, lots of information, and good work that's happening. So I will be at that. And that is it. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Since our last regular meeting, I had a Duck River meeting last week. We're on par for the year. The lakes at Poole at Normandy, there are some areas of the county that are dry. We're selling water. We don't see a rate increase in the foreseeable future. I always like to remind everybody to shop Tullahoma if they can. If you can get it here. That's all I have, Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you. Alderman Dunn.
Yes, it's not official Tullahoma, City of Tullahoma business. We are still having our TEDx Tullahoma. This is not sponsored by the city, but it's still going on. It's happening on October 24th at UTSI. We plan on practicing good social distancing. And if anybody wants to get involved in a mini TEDx Tullahoma, that's going to be next month. And so we're looking for videos for that. And the topic is joy. And any Tullahoma citizen that wants to be involved in that can definitely give me a call or email me. So that's all.
Very good, thank you. And that's, what's the date for TEDx? And
October 24th. It's a Saturday.
October 24th. Very good. Okay. For the mayor's report, let me tell you that for the last week, I've been sitting in the mayor's office. Lane Curley has left me lots and lots of material to get familiar with, and I've been doing my best to just become familiar with that. And it's been quite a daunting task to go through all the things that he's been involved with. So all the things that you've heard this evening about Lane Curley were understated, actually, because he has been very active as our mayor. And what big shoes to fill. As I said on the Zoom meeting that we had for him, honoring him earlier, I was almost, wish I hadn't tuned in so that I wouldn't have heard all the things about him, because it makes me intimidated completely. But with that, let me get on with the agenda for this evening. And first thing I want to do is to announce a vacancy on our board of aldermen. Let me let the people who are viewing know how we'll fill that vacancy. We are asked anyone who is interested in filling the vacancy as an alderman to submit a citizens participation form with the indication that they're interested in that. Along with their citizen participation form, we've asked that they submit a resume and their qualifications and why they're interested in serving and what they would be contributing. We've also asked them to submit that by September the 8th so that we'll have it in time to have it published before our board meeting on the 14th. On the 14th, we have asked those candidates to appear in person and during comments from the citizens to state their position and state why they would like to be considered as an alderman. So I expect that there'll be probably multiple candidates that will be vying for that position as alderman, but that's the way that we'll do that for the vacant alderman position. Okay. Also with the vacant alderman position, I was serving on the planning commission as an alderman. I was planning as the representative from the board to the planning commission. So since I resigned that position, there's a vacancy that's on the planning commission now as a board appointment. And in that Alderman Blackwell has been serving on that planning commission as the mayor's representative, I, as mayor, have chosen to continue to serve in that capacity for a time. Can't say how long that might be, but until we have a full complement of aldermen, I'll serve in that capacity. However, Alderman Blackwell has expressed a desire to continue to serve on the planning commission as a board appointment. So accordingly, at this time, I'll accept a nomination for Alderman Blackwell to serve as the board appointment to the planning commission.
I nominate Rick Blackwell to continue serving as the alternate representative of the planning commission.
Second.
We have a nomination. We also have a second, but I will not say anything about, but for a nomination, sure, we don't even have to have a second, so we'll simply vote on Rupert Blackwell to serve as the board appointment to the planning commission.
Are you accepting other nominations?
Mr. Mayor?
Yes.
I'd like to nominate Jenna, simply because kind of tradition, I think with the exception of me, we've always put a new alderman on there because it's a good glimpse of how the city works. So I at least want to throw that name together.
Okay, we have another nomination, and that means we'll have a vote, a ballot vote. And are you prepared to
Yes.
pass out the ballots?
Yes, sir. Do we vote in this too?
This will be recorded by a member.
Okay.
You'll see your name at the bottom. If you could just put who you're voting for, please, and pass it back this way. We're going to vote. Almacher voted for Almacher. Mayor Noes voted for Blackwell. Blackwell voted for Blackwell. Berry voted for Almacher. Blanks voted for Blackwell. And Dunn voted for Blackwell. So that would be 4 for Blackwell and 2 for Almacher, Blackwell.
And I will note that this does require a majority vote, not just a plurality. So we do have a majority vote. Thank you. And thank you, Ms. Allmark, for willingness to serve in that capacity. Okay, get to the right page. It's time for the election of a mayor pro tem. Mr. Alderman Blanks has indicated a willingness to continue to serve as mayor pro tem. And at this time, I would accept a motion to elect Alderman Blanks as pro tem.
Motion. For
Motion
Alderman
has
Blanks.
been a nomination for Mr. Blanks. Are there other nominations?
Yes, I nominate Daniel Berry.
We have another paper ballot.
Any more? Okay. All right. Once again, you'll find your name at the bottom. Please vote on it and pass it back this way.
It's twitching.
It won't be able to help me with
You're right with my left hand.
Alderman Blackwell voted for Blanks. Alderman Dunn voted for Blanks. Alderman Berry voted for Berry. Mayor Noes voted for Blanks. Almacher voted for Daniel Berry. And Blanks voted for Blanks. So that's 4 for Blanks and 2 for Daniel Berry.
And that also requires a majority rather than just a plurality. And Daniel, thank you for your willingness to serve in mayor pro tem. Thank you. Next thing on the agenda is the assignments to committees and boards and agencies for the mayor. And I will point out that we are lacking one alderman. So until we have a full complement on our board of aldermen, I'm going to defer doing that until we have an alderman on that. So that will be coming up
We hope to elect an alderman at our 14th meeting in September. So we'll look for doing this appointment to these committees for the second Monday night in September. Okay? With that, I think we're ready for a report from our city attorney.
We tonight completed a lease extension for the South Jackson Civic Center to 2040 under the same provisions as our previous lease, except that we've assumed the responsibility for maintaining the roof on the building. They're going to spend a considerable amount of money on extensive repairs to the building. They have now merged with the Playhouse, so that there's only one organization that we're dealing with there. This, of course, is a plus for our city because that's a very important quality of life institution that we have here. So I'm glad to announce that. We have the negotiations for the London's lease almost finished for the board to consider at the next board meeting. There were just a few little things that we were tweaking in that, but if y'all have been over there and looked at it, they've done a great job with some landscaping and some outside lighting and tables and things like that that will enable them to have larger groups of people than they could inside during the pendency of the final resolution of this COVID-19 curse that we're enduring right now. Also remind you all that we will have an executive meeting in September to discuss a number of pending items that are matters that the board needs to be taking up, privately. Do y'all have any questions about anything? I'd like to welcome Mayor Noes to his new position and Ms. Almacher to her new position on the board. Look forward to serving with you all in the future. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Barsham. Now a report from our city attorney.
City administrator.
Excuse me, our city administrator. Which one?
I almost got a promotion, I think. Maybe not. I don't know. I do have a few things to share with you. First being, tonight you should have seen a brochure like this at your seat. This is the rack card that has been distributed through some of our visitor centers, including the visitor center in Lynchburg at Jack Daniels. We already know that we experience a lot of visitors to our community to dine and shop, and this just helps us continue to promote it throughout the region. And I want to thank Winston Brooks for his hard work on that. Also, just to give you an update, last week we had assistant fire chief interviews. We had 5 finalists, 2 from Tennessee, 3 from outside, and I am eagerly awaiting to hear more about the candidate that they'll be making an offer to. But I wanted to share that with you. We did receive 15 total applicants, and then these were the 5 finalists for the position. Last, I wanted to share some news with you. Very proud of how our community has continued to step up and make adjustments. The city schools have received, I think, quite a bit of interest from the community, especially our church community, wanting to step up and do more for students as they're distance learning. And so, in addition to our local churches, we are signing a memorandum of understanding with Tullahoma City Schools to use CD Stamp's Community Center as a site for support, technical assistance for students that are distance learning. And so we'll continue doing that from now through October 14th, I believe, 13th or 14th. Okay, October 9th, when the center needs to be turned over for elections. But yeah, just wanted to let you know we're doing that. And then I didn't know if this was a time, maybe I'll just give you an update. I didn't hear it in Steve's report, but we had some additional conversation with attorneys at Municipal Technical Advisory Services, MTAS, and they advised that in filling the seat, the vacant seat for Aldermen, which is considered a resignation of a seat, it will be filled by a majority vote. So it will take 4 votes for that seat to be filled, which is different than what I had instructed you previously. Okay.
As it should.
Thank you.
Is that all, Ms. Moody?
That is all.
Thank you. This time we'll go into the consent agenda. And I will remind you that all matters listed under the consent agenda are considered to be routine and will be enacted by one motion. There will be no separate discussion of these items unless a board member or a citizen so requests, in which case the item will be removed from the consent agenda and considered separately. During the portion of the meeting reserved for comments from citizens, as shown on the agenda, citizens may request that the board may remove an item from the consent agenda so that discussion may be held on that one item. Hearing none to be removed, I'll read the caption for the consent agenda. And one is item number 20-80, the minutes from the August 10th regular meeting, that you had an opportunity to see on page 54. Item number 2081, the approval of the Tullahoma Police and Fire Department's participation in the 2021 calendar program with Kaywood Enterprises, on page 60. Item number 2082, approve the addition of 2 budget provisions, 1 full-time street laborer in Public Works and 1 full-time grounds crew in Parks and Recreation to the current year FY21 annual budget.
Motion approved.
Second.
Motion made and approved. Any comments? Not, please vote. All on green, vote aye. Six to 0. Thank you. Under old business, ordinance number 1541, an ordinance to amend the ordinance number 1521 titled Adopting the Annual Budget and Tax Rate for the Fiscal Year beginning July 1, 2019 and ending June 30th, 2020 for approval on the third and final of 3 readings. Motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion and seconded. Any comments? Hearing none. All in favor say
I
aye.
would like to recognize our finance
Right.
director, Sue Wilson.
I would just like to say, this will need to be amended to include all, to be then approved as presented, because it now includes the school budget and all the small funds that were not available in the first couple readings.
Thank you, Ms. Wilson. Thank you. And
So you'll need a motion to.
Motion to amend
amend
to approve it with the school, and what else do we need on that, Ms. Wilson?
All the attached detail as presented.
All the attached detail as presented, Mayor.
Okay.
Second. If this went through public hearings, can we amend it after it's been through the public hearings?
You can amend it on each reading.
Shouldn't it be amended before you have the public hearing?
The public hearing, this was provided for the public hearing. This is a closeout of last year's budget. It basically just finalizes the things that happened during the year, and then just, basically gives you a final version.
I'll amend my motion to,
Oh, that's right. You
Yeah.
made the motion.
I'll amend the motion to include everything she just said.
And I'll second it the way that he
Is
did.
it the school board and minor adjustments?
Or as presented, I think.
As presented.
a motion made by Alderman Berry and amended by Alderman Berry, seconded by Alderman Blackwell, and as amended.
As amended.
Any further discussion? Not green or aye? Six to 0. Thank you.
That's for the amended motion, and now we got to vote on the motion?
No, because they changed their.
They changed the
Yes.
motion, yeah. Any other old business? Hearing none, we'll go into the new business. Ordinance number 1543, an ordinance to amend the zoning map of the city of Tullahoma as set forth in the municipal code, which was in ordinance number 1392, to rezone an approximate 28.4 acre parcel at 1800 East Lincoln Street. That's from an R2 medium density residential district to an R3 high density residential district for passage on the first of 2 readings. Ms. Moody, do we have a report from staff on that?
Yes, I would just like to share that this item received a considerable amount of comments and feedback from citizens when it was before the Planning Commission for consideration. If I recall, we had approximately 18 to 20 citizens speak to this item, and their comments range from concerns about traffic impact on East Lincoln Street, primarily a lot of comments regarding that approximately maybe as much as 7 or 8 acres of this property is in the floodplain. It is a very wet, swamp-like area, and there was a lot of concerns for existing trees to remain on the site and just concern for the type of development that would occur there. The Planning Commission voted unanimously to give it an unfavorable recommendation. You'll see in my staff report, I'm also giving it an unfavorable recommendation, understanding some of the environmental concerns with the property. And I don't believe the applicant attended the public hearing tonight. I was surprised by that, but the applicants are not the name listed on the application. Originally, this request was brought by a potential buyer who was proposing a development, a townhome development for the property. After he withdrew the application, the owners and heirs to the property continued the request. And so I just wanted that to be clear to you that there is no proposed development associated with this rezoning. It's being requested by the owners who are trying to market and sell the property for development. Okay, and I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Okay, at this time, we have the recommendation from the Planning Commission for an unfavorable recommendation from the Planning Commission regarding the rezoning. So I will entertain a motion to approve the rezoning or a motion to deny the rezoning.
Motion to deny.
I'll second.
We have a motion to deny and a second to deny. So your yes vote will be to deny.
I needed that explanation.
Clear.
Point of order, Mayor.
Comments? Yes.
Could we have just not voted on this and it had died? If we didn't make a motion,
I mean, you could table it.
I mean, just.
Well, that's correct. Rezonings, if they are not voted on within 120 days, they are considered to have failed.
So there was two options. If we wanted to deny this, we could have not, I know that's happened before on this stage. Just, there might have been a motion.
Right.
If we wanted to discuss it in length like we did before we had this presented,
Right.
somebody would have had to make a motion. We would have had a second. Then we would have had discussion. We had discussion before. I don't know if that's the normal procedure, but I know we have, if you don't get a motion or if you don't get the second, then it dies.
Correct.
That is correct. We were only getting a comment from staff rather than a discussion about the school.
I'm surprised we didn't have any comments tonight.
So I could technically withdraw my motion and we can just move on, or does it matter?
Yeah.
We could just table it at this point, right?
Can you
Or just vote no since it's already there.
I would
If we
share
vote
with
no,
you
we
that
have to vote again.
If you vote no, you'll be in favor of the rezoning.
Or, I'm sorry.
If
if
you
you
vote
vote
yes,
yeah.
you're in favor of killing it,
Okay.
denying it.
Either way.
So if you want to deny the motion to approve the rezoning, if you want to deny rezoning, vote yes.
You ready for a vote?
I'm clear?
Okay. Now, before I go on, so who made the motion? Sorry.
I made the motion.
Okay, that's a thanks.
Alderman Berry seconded.
I got that mixed up. Alderman Berry seconded. You made the motion, Blackwell made the motion to deny.
Right.
And seconded by Berry. And everyone voted, so now I could do this. So we have 5-1. But it's still pass, still denied.
Okay.
You good?
You
5-1?
got it?
I got it.
5-1. So the motion fails to be approved. Okay. Is there any other new business?
Old business.
That's new business. Any other new business?
Right.
If not, we will adjourn. Adjourn our board meeting and go directly into the beer board meeting. Any comments from the public regarding the beer board? Seeing none, there's a consent agenda item. That's the minutes from the August 10th meeting. Again, with the consent agenda as previous. That's the only thing on there is the minutes from that meeting. So do I hear a motion to approve the minutes?
Motion to approve.
Alderman Blanks, seconded by Blackwell. Any other discussion? All in favor, vote yes. Any other old business? Seeing none, we'll go into new business. Gosh, when people have a beer board, when a beer application, then it's the very last thing on the agenda. It makes it for a long evening. But the new business is item number 20-BB23, beer board application for off-premises permit for a new business for the Dollar General Store located at 901 East Lincoln Street. Local manager, Ms. Selena Warren, intends to be the manager in charge of beer sales and consider approval subject to final fire inspection. Is Ms. Warren available?
I saw her earlier. She must have left with the rest of the crowd.
I want them to get it, but I think she needs to be here.
Yeah, I'd make a motion to postpone this until the next meeting.
Second.
We have a motion to postpone until
September.
Date specific, and that's our next meeting, so we'll put that on the agenda for next beer board meeting. And please invite Ms. Warren to appear. You might caution her that sometimes these meetings go a little longer than she might like, but we'll get to it as quickly as we possibly can. Okay, with that, with no further new business.
We gotta vote on that.
We have to vote on that?
Yeah.
Let's do. Okay. Daniel, it's been a long day. I'm anxious to go.
I bet. It's been a long couple months.
I agree. With that, we will be adjourned.
All right. Do we think it says Dolgen Corp. or Dolgen Corp.?
Dolgen.
Is that that's what I was trying to figure out this entire time?
I've been saying Dolgen when I was reading it.
It's the one on Lincoln
Get off
that's
the
coming up.
quiet.